and welcome to this live stream. We are going to be talking about this solar eclipse in Aries taking place on the 20th of April. I do apologize for being a couple minutes late. I seem to have something in my eye and it's really annoying me. So that's fun. Anyway, welcome back. I hope you are doing well if you are a returning viewer of the channel. But if you are new here, hi, my name is Hannah. I am a Western Practical Astrologer. And yeah, if you're interested in any of my services, you can go to hannahselsewhere.com. You can find my practical astrology ebooks, guide, merch, all that good stuff. Though do make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, click the bell to keep updated. So, yes, we're going to be talking about this solar eclipse in Aries. It's going to be taking place on the 20th of April at 29 degrees. So, on that note, let me just present this to you. The solar eclipse in Aries. All right. So I just want to make you aware of the Cosmic Warriors Club. So you can go to cosmicwarriorsclub.com. There you can keep updated with your monthly horoscopes, weekly horoscopes. I did a live stream talking about Mercury retrograde in Taurus. Of course, Mercury is in Taurus at the moment. It'll be there for a good while. So yeah, you can find that chat at the Cosmic Warriors Club. And there are other events available and reports as well about the full moon cycles, new moon cycles. The solar eclipse in Aries report is also available. And there's going to be a chat talking about Venus entering Gemini on the 11th of April. So yeah, if you are interested in joining the club, go to cosmicwarriorsclub.com. I hope to see you there. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Okay. So, to let you know, here is the information about the solar eclipse. These are some of the aspects that we're going to be focusing on today. So, as you can see here, the sun and moon will conjunct at 29 degrees, and there will be that conjunction to Jupiter. The orb is quite wide, but Jupiter's still hanging out. And then the sun and moon will make that conjunction to the north node in Taurus. Saturn will square Venus in Gemini. There will be this quintile that the sun and moon will make to Mars in Cancer. Of course, Mars is the dispositor of this solar eclipse because Mars rules Aries. And then that Mars energy is making that trine to Saturn. It's been there for a while. So today, the day that I'm recording this, it's been there for a good bit. Of course, the orb as well there is a bit wider, but still, we're noticing these aspects. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I hope you enjoy this presentation today. I'm just going over a bit of an overview about what we're going to be touching on today. And then also the sun and moon will make, the north node as well, but the sun and moon will make a square to Pluto. Of course, Pluto is in Aquarius. And then we have the sun, moon, and the north node making the sextile to Saturn. Mars is in Cancer, making that square to Chiron in Aries. And then we also are going to look at that Mercury conjunction to Uranus and then the sextile to Mars. Though on that note, just to inform you here that Mercury will station retrograde the day after this solar eclipse. So we will touch on that briefly today. All right, so with that overview, I also just want to say here too that with the sun and moon making that conjunction to the north node, anytime there is an eclipse, okay, so when an eclipse happens, the nodes are going to be nearby. Okay, so I'm just going to explain here as an example. We have been experiencing these eclipses in Taurus and Scorpio since November 2021. And then the final one will be in October 2023. And the thing is that the nodes, of course, have been in Taurus and Scorpio from January 2022. But then when we move here, so we're starting a new set of eclipses, right? With the solar eclipse in Aries, there's a new set of eclipses happening. And of course, the nodes are going to move into Aries and Libra. So that's going to take place from July 17th. So this is what I mean. Whenever there are eclipses, you will be able to find the nodes close by. Though I also want to say too that when you are looking at the eclipses, so if we focus on Aries here, with the solar eclipse being in Aries, so think about what house is being activated for you. So, where is that solar eclipse happening within your chart? But then also think about how the eclipses they come in pairs, okay? Kind of like with the nodes, when you're looking at the north node, it's also good to consider the south node too, because they are acting as a team. They are placed on the axis. So consider then the Libra energy that's going on opposite. And of course, there will be an eclipse, a lunar eclipse, or sorry, a solar eclipse in Libra on the 21st of, on the 14th of October. Okay, the 14th of October, and it's going to take place at 21 degrees. So, yeah, that's what I mean. Just kind of think about how the eclipses are going to happen in pairs. And even just on that note too, I want to share some quick experiences today. And before we do get into this, I was so interested in this because I was looking into more information about eclipses, and I find a really great video by Chris Brennan. You most likely know who he is. He is the owner of the Astrology podcast. He is a really brilliant astrologer. And so he was talking about different experiences, of people looking into the eclipses. And I'm passing on this information to you in that look at where the eclipses have taken place over the years and then kind of see which houses have been activated for you and what changes, were made, what really came to light. Of course, eclipses really do look at significant new chapters. They signify monumental changes. So we really do pay attention during eclipses. We can't help but not pay attention because the changes are somewhat grand. So think about how the eclipses have been impacting you guys over the years, with the signs and what houses are being activated for you, etc. I know for me, so back in 2016, there was the solar eclipse in Virgo in September. And that was when I actually discovered astrology. So I have a Virgo rising. So I've got the first house in Virgo, the first house tied to our identity. Um, so there was a new identity chapter, I suppose you could say, back then. Of course, I'm still doing this today. I'm still interested in astrology. And I'm now at a place where I'm talking about it, and it's very much now my job. But then, following on from this point, in August 2017, there was the lunar eclipse in Aquarius, and then I have Aquarius in the sixth house. The sixth house tied to work and services. And it was around that time that someone reached out to me and was kind of like, "Hey, do you offer readings? Do you have any types of services?" And I was like, "No," but then that encouraged me. People reaching out and being like, I'm interested, and that gave me a good push. So here I am. And then in July 2019, so fast forward a couple of years later, there was the lunar eclipse in Capricorn. I have Capricorn in the fifth house of romance and love. So I actually met my partner, who I am with today, and that really did signify, big changes within my love life. Yeah, so that is kind of interesting, I think. And the other interesting thing about this is in January 2019, there was the solar eclipse in Capricorn, and the fifth house can also be tied to your creativity. And during that time, I took the leap, I guess you could say, and I decided to create ebooks. So practical astrology ebooks, and I created 12 ebooks focusing on each of the seasons, each of the signs. And that was a big project for me, but that was a long project. But yeah, still looking at how things are just so parallel, thinking about those eclipses and how they have kind of played out within my life. So this is what I'm saying, look into your own sort of personal experiences, see if you can draw up any sort of parallels, conclusions, what can you find within your chart? It's so fascinating to me. Um, but then I also want to say here too that with this solar eclipse in Aries, think about how there was the new moon in Aries too. So that was at 0 degrees on the 21st of March. So we opened Aries season with this new moon, and then we're closing Aries season with a solar eclipse. So it's just really pointing toward these themes of leadership, being a pioneer, focusing on our identity, focusing on the things that we want, really questioning, what do I want? Aries is like, what do you want? What do you want? Be decisive, make the decision and go for it, okay? Just go for it. Uh, yeah, so consider what intentions you were making at the beginning of Aries season. Um, and also consider here too any placements you have in Aries. I know for myself, I have the moon in Aries. It's 15 degrees. This means that Chiron will actually conjunct my moon, my natal moon in Aries during the solar eclipse. I'm pretty sure it's the same degree as my moon right now. I could be wrong. I need to check that, but still, there's the conjunction, and oh my goodness, it's in my 8th house, and it has not been easy for me personally. Okay, drawing from my own experience here, it has not been easy emotionally for me. It's almost like my wounds have just been opened up. I've been working through a lot in therapy. I'm very thankful to my therapy group in that I can challenge myself week after week, but it's not easy. I'm being honest here. It's not easy having to dive into our most vulnerable parts of ourselves and the things that we don't actually like about ourselves. And it's difficult diving into the past and having to address those family patterns, those emotional patterns. Whew. Yeah. Right. So, on that note, let's now discuss how this so this solar eclipse is going to take place at 29 degrees. So 29 degrees is a critical degree, all right? So it's pretty much representing the end of a sign. But from the end of a sign, you then enter into the new sign, the next sign over. And that push, okay, I wrote there apprehensive. It's like, oh no, oh my God, like, I don't know. Am I ready to take this leap? Am I really ready? And then the thing is that the North Node is going to be moving into Aries, like I said, and that's going to happen in July. But the thing is that the North Node's going to move back the way. So it's going to enter into the sign of Aries at 29 degrees. So from July 17th, pay attention because that's going to come to the 29-degree point. So there's just this kind of crossover right now. There is this, oh my gosh, what's next? There's something that's coming up. I can feel it. There's the ending of a chapter coming up. There's the beginning of a new chapter coming up. But with the 29 degree, with the solar eclipse, it's like, okay, let's evaluate. Let's kind of evaluate what we've learned, especially throughout Aries season, because of the new moon at the very beginning and then the solar eclipse at the very end. It's time just to kind of like sit with our feelings, to go inward. And I wrote there as well with 29 in numerology, then that's going to come to 11. So the 11 number is so spiritual and wise, and it's inspirational, and it's about being this kind of hermit. It's about, okay, I'm going on a spiritual journey. And that's so interesting to me because I have been pulling the 8 of Cups so much over the past few weeks. And I've been like, why do I keep pulling this card? Why do I keep pulling this card? This is annoying me because I don't want to have to leave what I'm doing right now. I don't want to have to change something, but you know what? Maybe I do. And change is not easy, okay? It's not easy to kind of have to go, oh my gosh, I have to leave behind everything that I've kind of learned right here. Um and that's daunting. Like it's scary to kind of be pushed in a whole new direction. So this is what the solar eclipse is saying. It's like, okay, this is an opening. It's time to be open. It is time to be courageous. It's time to go on an adventure. And the unknown is, I'm going to swear. I feel like I was going to swear there because I'm getting really passionate. The the unknown is so freaking scary. Um because you don't know what's there. You don't know, will it work out? Will this work out in my favor? Really? This leap that I'm taking. Whew. So, so these are the things that I really want to make you aware of. I feel so passionate about this. Like I could cry. I don't know why. Um, but yeah, I'm just seeing all these sort of connections, right? I have my Mercury in Aquarius, and often I see the vision in my head, but trying to communicate that vision in a way that is um cohesive and practical and understandable. It's so hard, but I hope that I am able to convey my thoughts in an understandable way. So basically, to get to the point here, with this 29-degree solar eclipse in this sign, it's it's representing a turning point, okay? And the ending of this cycle, this period may be scary, but it's also about, you know what? Okay, solar eclipse, time for change, time for a new chapter. It's about powerful new beginnings. It is about this very notable new phase in our lives, a new chapter. It's recognizing these are the new opportunities and planting seeds as well for the future. You know, eclipses really do take into consideration more of that long haul. They have a stronger impact in comparison to new moons and full moons. And so this is why it's like, right, okay, this is about our future self. What comes up during this solar eclipse is really going to matter. And that's why I was able to reflect in the past, you know, looking at my own experiences from the eclipses in the past. I was like, they mattered because they represented turning points for me, and they probably represented turning points for you. Um, and so yeah, just yeah, consider really this opening, because eclipses too, they represent this portal. It's like stepping into a new version of yourself. It's about stepping into a new chapter that is so eye-opening and awakening. And throughout the process, it might be overwhelming. And that's also why I put there rest. You see, when it comes to solar eclipses and also lunar eclipses, perhaps more so lunar eclipses, but when it comes to eclipses, it can be so overwhelming because the energy is just so intense, and we can feel like there is a change upon us, and that can be physiologically difficult and emotionally and psychologically challenging for us. And so it's important to listen to our body, and that's easier said than done. You know, I'm like, okay, yeah, rest, but that's so easier said than done. We can all have such busy lives, and it can often be difficult to really tune in to what we need in the moment because we have just so much going on. Yeah, it's like in society we're busier than we've ever been, it feels like. And the world is it's getting intense, and that's something we're going to touch on with Pluto. But anyway, rest may be of a beneficial thing, okay? And then it's also kind of looking at our shadow selves. Even if you think about, with this being a total eclipse, you know, the moon and the sun are then there's gonna be like this covering of sorts, and it's like a time of darkness. It's a time to maybe get a deeper look into ourselves, to look at the psyche, to look at our subconscious, and those things that are buried deep inside our subconscious. Sometimes we don't want to look at them, but this solar eclipse is perhaps going to give us an opportunity to look at these qualities tied to courage and taking a leap and taking a risk. All right, these Aries themes. Um, so with that being said, I want to show you here. I just wanted to show this sort of illustration of what the eclipse actually entails. So this is an image then of a total solar eclipse. So a total solar eclipse occurs when the sun and the moon and the earth line up exactly. So I hope you can see from the illustration the really solid dark part, okay, in black. That then is showcasing the total eclipse. This, of course, is a total solar eclipse in Aries. So this is going to create more of that kind of darkness, okay? And then I've written there as well, the fully shaded area is known as the umbra. And then with the partial solar eclipses, okay, that would be more of that lighter shade, as you can see that I've illustrated there. So basically, that is called the penumbra. I hope I'm pronouncing those correctly. I just wanted to show a quick illustration just so you can kind of see what I'm kind of getting at here. And also I just want to say here too, I understand that you're kind of chatting and stuff in the chat, and that is amazing. I would love to answer questions and things like that and kind of engage more in this way. But I'm trying to get through this, and then I will read through things at another point. Okay. But yeah, I hope that this illustrates things for you. And I guess in a way, it's when it comes to this total eclipse, it's like, okay, something's changed. It's something to take notice of. Okay. And we'll be able well, it depends where you are, I suppose, in the world, but perhaps you'll be able to kind of recognize it and see it for yourselves. But essentially, it's like a moment of, okay, this is different. And that's the thing. It's about this difference, and about a monumental chapter that we're entering here. We're entering this monumental chapter when it comes to being a pioneer, when it comes to being a leader. And the day that I'm recording this, this live stream, the sun is in Aries and the moon is in Scorpio. And there will be the solar eclipse in Aries, and then there's going to be the lunar eclipse in Scorpio. So yeah, currently with the sun in Aries and the moon in Scorpio, just these themes I think are coming up to do with what is it about the self that must die so that we can move forward, so that we can feel more confident, so that we can accept ourselves. Um, and I further want to say that with the new moon in Aries, so back on the 21st of March there, Jupiter made a closer conjunction to the sun and the moon. Okay. But the Chiron was also involved. And that time period may have really made us aware of our insecurities and our wounds. But with Jupiter now kind of moving away from Chiron, I'm sort of wondering, is it that there are lessons that really came up for you and you can bring those lessons forward, you can carry them forward? And maybe it's also kind of saying, you know what, back then it was perhaps more challenging, but I was able to challenge myself too. Um, I was able to question myself, and I was able to challenge the old narrative, challenge the beliefs that I have about myself, about my identity. And now it's like, okay, well, I want to move forward. I want to be hopeful. I really want to try and keep the faith. I want to try and be positive. So, with that, let's now look at these Aries keywords, okay? Um, so maybe I should take it a step back here because, okay, let me just take it a step back because there was one more thing that I forgot to mention just to give you a further understanding of this. Um, Clearly I have Virgo energy because I'm like, no, no, I have to stick to a plan. I have to stick to a plan. If I don't stick to the plan, then I clearly am worthless. So let's think here. With the partial eclipses, with the shaded area, there was that new moon in Taurus back in 2022. So this is just to give you a kind of sense of what happened. And then there was the total eclipse then with the lunar eclipse in Scorpio. So this is what I mean. It can kind of go in this sequence, or there can be like a back and forth. I just wanted to touch on that because I just felt like I had to. Okay, so like I said, there are these keywords to do with Aries, and we're going to kind of go through then what may come up for you, just kind of thinking about collective themes. So, what we're noticing with this solar eclipse is significant new chapters when it comes to adventure, when it comes to independence, our freedom, also thinking about notable new opportunities when it comes to being assertive, when it comes to movement, taking action, taking risks, being bold, being brave, being daring. And this looks like a phase that is really worth paying attention to when it comes to our independence as well. Excuse me, I'm making noises here. Uh, just my throat's a bit strange. So yeah, so a new significant phase, planting new seeds for the future when it comes to our courage, when it comes to leadership, and it's also about challenging ourselves. It's about questioning, like I was saying earlier, what do you want and who are you? And what about deciding, hey, you know what, this is the decision that I want to make, and I'm going to go for it, and I'm not necessarily going to hold back. And yeah, there's a great deal of instinct involved then, and this is very energetic as well. This solar eclipse is very energetic and passionate. I mean, Aries showcases these types of qualities, and with it being a solar eclipse in Aries, it's like causing all of this disruption. And it could be that we feel restless, or we feel like just like there's a lot of just energy, electric energy just running through our bodies because it's a lot. Maybe it can be too overwhelming for some of us. But really, this is about taking action that our future, thinking about what our future selves will thank us for. If we make the decision, right, go, that we're doing it. When we just go for it and we don't necessarily overthink it, we don't necessarily get caught up in, oh, what if this happens or what if that happens? When we just go for it, our future self will be able to look back to these moments and kind of go, hey, you know what? I'm really glad I did that. I'm really glad I took that leap of faith, and I just went for it. So yeah, a lot of passion, a lot of energy, and it's about being courageous. It's about being brave. Okay, so the sun and the moon will conjunct Jupiter. Now, like I said, the orb is still kind of wide, but let's think about what this conjunction can mean. So this is pointing toward loud authenticity. Okay, if we think about the sun is tied to our vitality, being authentic, it's tied to our creativity, our ego. So yeah, loud authenticity. It's about being energetic, and thinking also about the sun being exalted in the sign of Aries. So there is increased courage, um, feeling supported in a way, or like our ego is supported. And it's about, we're confident, we feel more confident within ourselves. Increased strength is perhaps likely here, increased courage, being very honest, being very truthful about what we want, about what we want to achieve, um, about our goals. Of course, Aries is tied to our goals. And it could be that we feel extra daring, extra adventurous. We're willing to take bigger risks. Another thing is that we may experience these huge sort of bursts of energy, these huge waves of excitement and passion. Yeah, this eclipse may be very, very loud and expressive. And it's like, right, I am ready to go here. Having motivational beliefs, kind of going back to what I was saying, with Jupiter moving away from Chiron and us kind of carrying over these lessons. It's like, okay, we're going to get to a point eventually where our beliefs are more about motivating ourselves, and things are clearer. There's more decision. It's more about Okay, well, I went through all the sensitive stuff. Now, of course, Chiron is still making a few aspects to other planets that I will talk about, but I went through all this the sensitive stuff to do with my identity for a while there, and I was actually to gain more knowledge and more wisdom about these things. And now I'm at a point coming up to the solar eclipse where I'm ready to inspire myself. I'm ready to push forward here, and I'm ready to be more encouraging and motivational. Leadership wisdom can be brought forward. Okay. So I did touch on the new moon in Aries there with Jupiter slowly moving away. I already sort of touched on that. And then there was the conjunction to Mercury in Aries back then too. So it was more like, okay, we were thinking a lot about, okay, what do I want, etc. But then all of the insecurity may have crept in, the self-doubt may have crept in. But with Mercury now being in Taurus, and then also Mercury will make that conjunction to Uranus. Perhaps we are feeling more excited about, okay, what's the next step? Okay, how about I consider my self-worth, my self-value? Of course, Mercury will the next day station retrograde, and it will then be conjunct that Uranus energy, which we will touch on. But then I further want to say that Jupiter has been in Aries from May till July 2022, and then from the 20th of December 2022. So we're coming kind of to the end of this. I would just kind of maybe take the time during the solar eclipse to really reflect on what you have learned when it comes to these bigger picture lessons related to your individuality, related to independence and freedom and adventure. Just take some time, perhaps, to consider what you have gained. I'll draw from my own experience, right? I love to draw from my own experiences. It even helps kind of ground this energy a bit. So from October time 2022, I have been studying this course. It's a course tied to transformational management in a digital world. I believe that is the order that it goes in. And it has included 3 significant modules. I've looked at the future of work, so thinking about, with technology and everything changing so rapidly, and what will that look like then for employees? What will that look like for us, right? And then the second module is tied to digital marketing, and then the third is project management. So I just finished my final assignment for project management. I still have to do a reflection piece about the assignment, but that course has taken so much of my time and my energy. I've had to obviously mix that in with here, with my business, with readings, videos, and everything. A part of me is like, oh, I feel like that took a lot of my time. It has taken a lot of my time. So there have been moments of like struggle in this way. It can be challenging. But then at the same time, it's now been 7 or so months, and I'm near the end of it, and hopefully I qualify. Hopefully I get the qualification from it and I pass and everything. But the point being that Aries and the Jupiter in Aries has been transiting my 8th house, okay? And the 8th house is tied to shared resources. So this could look like, funding, like government funding. And then Jupiter is tied to higher learning, higher education. So government funding for a particular higher educational course. And then Aries is tied to enterprise. It's tied to leadership. So with this course, it's about management. So I would say with the Jupiter in Aries transit through my 8th house, I have then been presented with this opportunity to do with this course about leadership. So things have kind of played out that way for me. But then at the same time, I cannot wait to get this course over with so I can focus on one thing. It's also funny because Mars was in Gemini during that time, and then I've got Gemini in my 10th house. Still, think about what you have learned. All right. Think about what you have learned with Jupiter transiting Aries all of this time. Okay, so like I was kind of saying a moment ago with Pluto, okay, Pluto will score the Sun, Moon, and the North Node. So it's at 0 degrees. So with the solar eclipse, this can indicate mighty change. This can indicate this deep social transformation. This can indicate a portal opening to a new life, a new mode of being. Um, and a renewed sense of self, renewed identity, renewed independence, freedom. This is an opportunity to really dig deep when it comes to being inventive, when it comes to using technology, being innovative. And what just kind of sprung to my mind there is, well, when I reflect on the module that I did for the future of work, and then I think about how technology is just changing so rapidly, well, we are going to notice then more technological advancements happening, and it's going to be hard to keep up. When I was studying this module, there were concerns about companies and businesses keeping up with it all. It can be really challenging because before you know it, everybody else is on to the next thing and then to the next thing, and then how can businesses really keep up with all of that? They need to keep reskilling themselves. They need to keep up with the changes, thinking about, well, there's this new app that's been invented, this new device that's been invented. So we need to kind of learn about it as quick as possible so that we can use it. And then that kind of goes back to following the societal trends. That is so important when it comes to business and work and everything, trying to keep up with those trends. And even thinking about social media, it can feel somewhat impossible trying to keep up with the trends and the algorithms and everything. My goodness, even as a YouTuber, a YouTube astrologer, I guess, like, you have to keep up with the titles and algorithms and thumbnails and catchy sayings and keep just keeping up with all of the changes. And it's also this question of, will YouTube even still be here in 5 years time or 10 years time, and how is it going to change, how is that going to shift? And I just think I think this solar eclipse is going to bring up all of these questions, right? All of these questions of where do we fit into all of this. I think even with Pluto in Aquarius in general, we are entering this new phase, this new 20-year cycle. Of course, it's not going to happen officially the 20 plus years until the end of 2024, but it's going to be a time period where I think the technological side of things, it's just going to get wild. And there are going to be these huge transformations, and people are going to get caught up in um, these moments of fear and worry. Maybe it is important to maybe pay attention to the trends and things going on, even thinking about with Pluto and Aquarius and then Uranus and Taurus and the retrograde of Pluto back into Capricorn, and the stuff to do with financial collapse, and the American dollar apparently at the moment is it's not looking the best. Um, so whew, whew, I'm just whew, it's it's gonna get quite unstable, I think. Economically, thinking about also what is happening with different countries at the moment. War, not get too much into that. But my point is this solar eclipse in Aries is going to get us thinking about, where do I fit into this? Me, right? Aries is the self. Aries is the self. It's like, how does all of this, like, collective technology stuff, how does that impact me? How does this situation with Ukraine or Russia or some other countries, China and everything. How does all of that impact me? And what about my survival? What about my security here? Like, what am I going to do? So this, I think, is just it's going to bring up all of these questions within ourselves, and we may get charged up about society. There may be these real collective changes that happen, but then it's kind of bringing it back to the self, bringing it back to the self. This could be a really exciting awakening for people. When there are changes, certain collapses, certain crisis points, there can be times where you can take the opportunity, right? You can kind of ride a new wave, or you can catch on to something new early. So there can be possible, exciting moments, but it's also like, well, what if we get left behind? What are we going to do then? Um and that kind of goes back to the whole trying to keep up with it all. This is why it's just like everything is going to accelerate. There's just going to be this fast pace, go, 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 go. And it may be overwhelming. I find it overwhelming. I find it overwhelming trying to keep up with all of it. I've got my Instagram, trying to keep up with the marketing side of things, trying to keep up with posts constantly, trying to manage obviously with YouTube and readings, and there's just a lot. So if you can imagine, things are going to accelerate more and more and more. But bringing this back again to the self, it's like, okay, how do we become the observer then? How do we investigate, right? How am I feeling in this moment? Investigate your emotions. Who are you in the madness? How much control do you have when it comes to, how much control do the masses, does society have over your emotions? How much do you let it impact you? I think I let it impact me too much, and I think I need to learn from that and just kind of go, "Do you know what? I need to just chill out." I'm a very tense person. I'm very tense, and I'm always worried. I'm always stressed. So much of that Virgo energy going on. But yeah, I feel like that, yeah, it's gonna get sort of louder, but how can we breathe and tune in and recognize where we are within it all? And at the same time, thinking about survival, thinking about standing up for yourself and being honest about how you're feeling, being honest about your shadow. Intense stuff. Pluto is always intense, though, right? Pluto is always intense. Pluto is gonna awaken different parts of ourselves, different parts that are subconscious, different parts that we have suppressed, fears that we have, especially these fears about the future. And, it's looking at these things and being honest with ourselves. And that brings us back to Aries. It's about honesty. Okay, back to loud authenticity. Okay, now let's look at how the sun and moon and the north node will sextile Saturn during the solar eclipse. So the important thing that I want to mention is that's going to happen at 4 degrees. So 4 in numerology, this stood out to me because 4 is known as the builder. And this energy is going to be especially potent from the 14th until the 25th of April. So, yeah, looking at how this is about the master builder, okay? Getting serious about the things we are working on, the things that we are building. I mean, I'm sitting here talking about, oh my gosh, I often feel stressed about trying to keep up within this ever changing world when it comes to technology, but yet I wouldn't have it any other way. I also love what I do so much. I love building, I love creating, I love connecting, I love I love this whole thing that I'm doing, and I am so excited about what the future holds as well, you know? So considering here, what are you slowly and steadily building toward when it comes to your future desires? And it's about being patient, it's about being consistent. And I can't help but think that Aries energy is like, no, 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 I want it now. You know, I am working so hard here. I'm building on this thing. But I want the results right now. And Taurus is just like, no. Saturn is just like, no, you need to be patient. You need to slow down. You need to be consistent. You need to be consistent. You need to remember your worth. You have to consider your value and not give in to the hype, not give in to the chaos. It's so scary out there. Just focus, breathe, calm down. The North Node is like, calm down. Everyone, just calm down. Now, at the same time, this is also about experiencing this boost of confidence, this boost of courage and energy to see our desires through to completion. You know, Taurus energy, Saturn energy is like, okay, I'm going to build, but I am going to build responsibly, and I'm also going to build until I'm done. Not because I've given up. Oh no, not because not because somebody else has told me to. I'm going to be done when I'm done. And I don't care how long it takes me. And with the North Node then going to make a conjunction to the Sun as well on the 24th of April. Okay, the North Node will be in Taurus, the Sun will be in Taurus. There will be a conjunction on the 24th of April. So just a few days after the solar eclipse. Oh my gosh, it is time to feel so much more fulfilled, okay? It's a time to be proud of what we have accomplished. You know, we're in this sort of time period right now where it's like I'm pushing, I'm pushing, I'm pushing. I want the results, I want the rewards. But just wait. Just wait. Okay? There's going to be a breakthrough. Hopefully. How hard have you been working? How consistent have you been, you know? It depends, I guess. But really, it's looking at a time period where we're going to finally come to, and we're going to realize I actually have achieved a good bit. I actually feel good right now. I feel more fulfilled. My ego has been strengthened. Perhaps I've been humbled too. You know, there's a sense of humility involved here. But then at the same time, looking at self-love, looking at how much we value ourselves, and also valuing our talents, our skills, and feeling perhaps somewhat more attractive. And that, I think, just comes from self-acceptance. Self-acceptance is perhaps the hardest thing to do. It's so interesting because, like, so many people are like, self love, accept yourself. But it's like, how the frick do you do that? How do you do that? Tell me your secret, please. Because it seems like everybody knows and I don't. Sorry. Oh, I'm being silly. I just have like this hyper side to me that comes out sometimes. Yeah. So I think self-acceptance is a big key word coming up here, but that within itself is it's hard to get to a place where you accept yourself. But the Taurus energy is still giving us this opportunity to really assess what that means for us. Okay, so the solar eclipse, like I said, will conjunct the North Node. And I was saying earlier there that anytime an eclipse happens, the nodes will be nearby. So this really is pointing to collective change. So take notice, you know, this solar eclipse is going to really impact us all because of the North Node being involved here as well. And then the North Node is tied to the future life path, our life path, our purpose, You know what I'm actually going to do here? I've been talking for 50 minutes and we haven't even gotten to the horoscopes, but that's okay. We're just going to go for it. I'm going to actually slow down and just read through the comments. You know, Mercury and Taurus right now. We're going to slow down the mind. We're going to just take our time here. Okay. Hello, Brianne. Hope you're well. Hello, Eddie. Uh, hello, Erica. Hello, Misbehaving. Hello, Pawn Queen. Bunny. Hello, Bloom Major. I don't know if you're all still around. You could have checked out ages ago, but I'm saying hello anyway. Um, am I in New York right now? No, I am from Belfast. That is where I'm from. Thank you so much. I hope you have a lovely Easter as well, Benjamin. The date of the solar eclipse, Erica, is the 20th of April. You just started therapy a month ago, and you're right. Yeah. It's excruciating reopening your wounds. Yep, it is indeed. Cut yourself open to heal correctly. Oh, it's hard. It is hard. Let it out. Thank you. Sometimes I just go off on a bit of a rant. I think my Aries moon just kicks in, and then I'm just like, la, 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 la. Anyway, so leaders lead by blazing the trail through the worst of it first, then real leaders roll up their sleeves and get to, oh yeah, leaders jump in and help, you know. When you see kind of, it's funny when you kind of see like a manager or a leader and they don't really get involved. Yeah, I think it says a lot. You are doing that. Congratulations. I'm not sure what you're referring to, but thank you. I believe Psyche. Oh, you're asking about Psyche. That's something on Instagram. We'll talk about Psyche and Eros over there. Your voice is so lovely. Oh, thank you so much. I would not think so, but that is really nice of you to say. Very good illustration. Okay, good. I hope that was clear. Yeah, I'm glad it was clear. You're able to kind of recognize then what that means, you know, what that looks like when it comes to solar eclipses. Any projections may be stronger due to how much they affect the world. Not sure what you're referring to. Okay. There's quite a bit. I think. Hello, Hector. Hi, Hector. Hello, Brianna. Hello, Mila. Hello, Brenda. Have I got everyone? Hello, yeah, Mila. I think I said Mila already. Yeah, I think I've said hello. V Hall. I'm not sure. Oh, yes. Okay. Brilliant. So we're kind of up to speed with the comments and everything. So I'm just going to keep going again. Maybe I will look over the comments again, but I just wanted to read through things. All right. So, like I said, there is the conjunction to the North Node. So we're looking at then how this solar eclipse is strongly tied to our purpose, our life path, our future, our destiny. But then the thing about this is that our life path then is connected to our values and really asking ourselves, well, what is worth it to us? And being intentional. Maybe there is a great deal of intention being set during this solar eclipse, especially because our future selves will thank us for it. And I guess on that note, there is a quality of taking our time. Um, and it's so yeah, it's interesting because I was talking about earlier about, you know, taking a leap of faith and what do you want and, you know, go for it, go for it. And yeah, I really do think that it is about this. But I think as well, you know, collectively there is an element of, okay, I still got to be patient here because maybe the results that I want from my action, the results aren't going to come to fruition just yet. Maybe the rewards that I'm seeking here, maybe the work or the effort that I'm putting in right now isn't paying off right now, but you know, it's about having the patience and taking our time as well. And being childlike as well at the same time, having a bit of fun with things, trying not to take ourselves super, super seriously too. So yeah, it's just there's a lot of sort of different energies at play. And then as well, I would say that there is an element of being mindful, being somewhat sensible, motivating ourselves, encouraging ourselves, feeling the passion, feeling what our body is communicating to us, tapping into our body sensations. And on that note, Jupiter will enter Taurus on the 16th of May. So we're noticing here how what is coming up during the solar eclipse will then lead to us grounding our lessons, grounding the wisdom, the knowledge that we gain, and then looking at how our knowledge can be applied practically. But at the same time, the North Node in Aries will move into, the North Node will move into Aries on the 17th of July. And so this eclipse, I suppose, is setting the same. Like I said, it's kind of like a portal to new beginnings, to these significant new beginnings in our lives. But then there's a lot of excitement in that as well. Though at the same time, it's also like, oh, I don't know if I can do it. I'm excited, but I'm also really nervous. Yeah. And then I further want to mention that on the 31st of May / the 1st of June, there will be that Jupiter conjunction to the North Node. Jupiter will be in Taurus, the North Node will be in Taurus. Exciting, exciting. I am looking forward to this aspect. Because this can really suggest this reaping of rewards, or this can suggest feeling more hopeful, like really more hopeful about our finances, about our stability, about our foundation. Or this could look like new opportunities, growth when it comes to security and our finances and so on, even looking at our skills and our talents, these Taurus themes. But perhaps the lunar eclipse in Taurus happening here on the 28th of October. Actually, let me just see here. I can't see the date behind that. Behind that, I'm pretty sure it's the 20th of October. My little face is kind of covering it on the screen. But yeah, I see this as, with the lunar eclipse in Taurus happening, that will really be a time period of reaping rewards, and that will be the final eclipse in the axis, the Taurus Scorpio axis. There, I believe it will be there. So yeah, with Jupiter entering Taurus, and then there will be a new moon in Taurus happening. That will be happening very soon. And then with the lunar eclipse happening in Taurus near the end of the year. Okay, rewards. So consider then what seeds you have been planting, especially when it comes to your self-worth, your value, your finances and everything, but how you have been planting those seeds from around about November 2021, okay, with the eclipses in Taurus and Scorpio. All right. Another thing is the sun and moon will make a quintile to Mars, and then there will be that trine to Saturn. So quintiles can often point toward our gifts and our talents. So what may happen then is, during the solar eclipse, we are somewhat gifted at moving others emotionally. We may be moved by other people's feelings as well, by other people's emotions. There is an opportunity to assert ourselves based on how we're feeling, based on our intuition. And there's a great deal of emotional maturity present as well. There's strength in our emotional honesty. There's strength even in our courage, our emotional courage. We may get strong hunches about the next steps, strong hunches about our direction. And we may even seek deeper understanding about our emotional situations. We may seek deeper understanding when it comes to the things that we want to build upon for the future, kind of going back to that 4 number with the master builder. And there's also an opportunity for great compassion and empathy. And think about here how, with the last few weeks, we have proved to ourselves just how capable we are with that Mars trine Saturn. I think this energy has been welcoming in a bit of consistency when it comes to achieving our goals, when it comes to being determined, and when it comes to taking action. Maybe we've been able to kind of get more things moving along, getting things done, etc. But yeah, in this respect, we've shown ourselves what we're capable of. And these things can then be carried over as well. These lessons can be carried over And perhaps these lessons can also kind of help us when it comes to these big new beginnings that we're entering into. And then we have Mercury conjunct Uranus, and that will sextile Mars. So, Mercury conjunct Uranus is pointing toward intellectual breakthroughs, which can change our actions. But then our actions can also lead to intellectual breakthroughs. So, this could look like a new sort of genius idea, a new method, okay, a new way of doing things. And then you put those new methods into place. Or this could be new perspectives about finances, about earning, about spending, investing, about your self esteem, all these types of things. Another possibility, of course, with Uranus there conjunct Mercury, I mean, our intuition is sharp. Okay, having a sharp intuition about our habits, our routines, and then this leads to different actions, different ways of doing things, and even having this breakthrough moment or many breakthrough moments where we're breaking away from outdated self worth patterns or outdated emotional reactions or outdated ways of doing things when it comes to our skills and our talents. And we can even explore alternatives. We can even explore security alternatives, material innovation as well. So, yeah, it's just like our ideas, they can really our new ideas can really help us reinvent ourselves, reinvent how we do things practically. But then keep in mind that Mercury will station retrograde the day after. So this can suggest these sudden changes due to a different way of seeing things. Okay. There could be all these sudden changes, these sudden realizations, these epiphanies. But then with Mercury stationing retrograde, it's like, right, okay, I actually need to slow down. Okay. I need to process. I need to process all of this stuff. And then when the time strikes, okay, I'll be ready, but I just need time to go over everything. So, yeah, it's like the Aries energy is giving us this push, this go, this courage to go after the things that we want. But the Mercury retrograde in Taurus is also kind of saying, right, let me just kind of go over all this. Let me think about it. Let me make sure that I have enough resources. I have the tools that I need. Are there any changes that I want to make? Are there any things that I left behind that I need to look at so that I can correct them? And then I can move forward with greater certainty. And let me just check here. Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. So the last area that I want to cover this last aspect. Also I want to make you aware that with the Mercury retrograde in Taurus, I have a video available there at the Cosmic Warriors Club. So if you're interested in that, go to cosmicwarriorsclub.com. You can find information all about the Mercury retrograde in Taurus. So the last aspect set that I want to look at is to do with Venus in Gemini making a square to Saturn. And then there's also what Chiron is up to. I just want to say here, just to correct myself, with the square to Mars, that should say Chiron square Mars, okay? Not Venus square Mars, it should say Chiron square Mars, okay? So Venus in Gemini will square Saturn, and it's going to be at its strongest on the 14th of April. So that's actually going to come along before the solar eclipse takes place. So during the eclipse, I mean, things could be easing up off a little bit, but I still see this as us experiencing these blockages when it comes to our self-worth, when it comes to our relationships, especially to do with how we communicate. Okay, so it could be that certain insecurities are felt because it's like, oh, am I communicating correctly? Or am I being heard? Am I being understood by my partner, by my friend? What is it that I'm not letting on here? What am I not sharing because I don't want to be made a fool of or because I don't want to look stupid? So yeah, there could be these sort of blockages, these limitations, or feelings of restlessness as well about how secure we feel within our relationships. And these things may be tied then to our self-worth. Um, or it's about recognizing whenever we are becoming too charged up mentally. So, regulating the nervous system can be really beneficial, focusing on our breath, deep, deep breaths, trying to bring ourselves back to the present moment. Is it that we're getting caught up in all of the thoughts, the thoughts that can often um just overwhelm us? And the thing is that with the solar eclipse in Aries, there's still a bit of a square here. The orb is still pretty wide, but we're kind of moving away from it a bit, but it's still kind of looking at, what's left over. Okay. And it's kind of coming to a place of, well, what have I learned there? Or what did I learn there? How am I when it comes to communicating how I feel within my relationships? Do I feel understood? Do I feel heard? It's about being curious about our emotions. And perhaps this can also point to a time period of being more social, lighter. Venus and Gemini is like, okay, it's lighthearted, like let's just have fun and not get too heavy or too serious, and live in the moment, lighten up a little bit, but at the same time, validating those challenging emotions too. Of course, Saturn is still there in Pisces, and it is teaching us these really valuable mature lessons to do with emotional maturity. Um, and then, like I said, there is so Chiron, okay, it's Chiron that will square Mars. So this could look like us really becoming emotionally triggered um, by other people. But then, of course, that is really about us looking within ourselves. Like, what is it about this other person, or what are they saying about me? What are they saying about my identity? And why am I being emotionally impacted by this situation right now? And maybe that also kind of goes back to the Pluto energy making the square to the sun and the moon as well, because we are noticing then the intensities to do with society and everything. So maybe what the Chiron square Mars is sort of communicating is looking at our personal feelings. And then with Venus sextile Chiron, then this looks at us being somewhat curious, okay? Becoming curious about our self-worth, becoming curious about our wounds, our identity wounds, about our even looking at our emotions as well. If we go back to with the Mars energy square to Chiron. So yeah, kind of stopping for a moment and just really questioning, what can I learn from this? What is this trigger, this emotional trigger, teaching me about myself? What is it teaching me about my past? What is it teaching me about my wounds? Of course, Mars is also the dispositor of the solar eclipse. Though just a couple more little things I want to mention is the Venus sextile Chiron will be at its strongest on the 27th, or sorry, the 26th. The 26th of April, Venus square Chiron will be at its strongest. And then on the 27th of April, the Mars square Chiron will be at its strongest. So perhaps consider these themes that I was talking about on these dates, okay? Okay, so that is, let me just look over my notes quickly and see if I've covered everything. Okay, I think we're good. Thank you so much for being here. We're now an hour in and we're only getting around to the horoscopes, but I am going to put timestamps in the comment section so you can keep up with it. So I hope that you have enjoyed this talk so far. I hope I've been able to bring some valuable information to you all. Hello, Alexander. How are you? Thank you for being here. Okay, so let's get into the horoscopes here. Aries. So I just want to mention that we're going to be looking at these in oppositions. So looking at the axis, of course, with the eclipses, they're going to take place on the axis. And I also further want to say that with eclipses, I suppose it goes without saying, but the changes, and I suppose I have said it as well. Anyway, the changes are quite significant, and they can last a significantly longer time than your regular new moon, full moon cycle. Right, so Aries, the solar eclipse is going to take place in your first house. So this could look like you really experiencing these powerful new beginnings when it comes to your body. Any sort of body changes, appearance changes. This could look like you deciding to create a new fitness plan, a new workout plan. Of course, you are Aries, you love to be on the move. I'm kind of taking note from this because I would sort of like to make changes when it comes to fitness. I want to make more time for going to the gym and everything. The reason why I'm referring to myself is because I have an Aries moon. Um, and also, it could be that there are these really notable new opportunities when it comes to your ambitions, when it comes to your goals. Perhaps there is some sort of new opportunity that presents itself. I'm not necessarily saying this will happen on the day of the solar eclipse. What I'm saying is that with the solar eclipse, there are these new changes upon you. Okay, there are these new changes coming up, and then you might kind of recognize that 6 months from now you've started to implement new changes, or it's that a new opportunity comes up to do with a new goal, a new life path, a new direction. Okay, so this really could look like you, Aries, having these changes to do with your ambitions. But then there's also the relationship element here, okay, with the seventh house being activated. Maybe it's that there are these changes that you make in terms of your own ambitions, your appearance, your identity, and they have an impact upon your relationships. But then the vice versa could also be true, where it's like a relationship situation has a strong impact on your identity. But I do want to focus more so on that first house area because this is the solar eclipse video. But yeah, I just wanted to show those kind of linkages there. All right, so Taurus, the solar eclipse is going to take place in your 12th house. So, this could look like you entering a new phase worth paying attention to that is associated with recharging and relaxing. This could look like you needing to pay attention about recharging. Okay, this could be a whole scenario where you have been doing a lot, or it's that you physically need to take time to rest, or you need time to go behind the scenes to figure things out, to recalibrate. But then perhaps this is also pointing toward the significant changes tied to your anger, any repressed anger, any identity issues that you experience. Of course, with the 12th house, it can represent the hidden self. The 12th house can also look at parts of the self that are difficult to let out, difficult to express. So, yeah, maybe this is about you kind of looking at any um, sort of difficulties in showcasing leadership, being assertive, being adventurous, taking action. Yeah, new significant changes, powerful new beginnings for you. But then at the same time, with the sixth house being activated as well, well, of course, there will be that Libra eclipse taking place more around October time. But still, there's the sixth house side of this of, okay, perhaps your greater need to retreat, to go behind the scenes is because you have been overworking yourself, or because there are these significant new chapters to do with work or to do even with your health. I mean, this could be a whole cycle of like, okay, well, I really do need to focus on my health. I really do need to focus on my well being, and how that aligns with my behind the scenes activity, how that aligns with me recharging and needing to relax. Gemini. So the solar eclipse, yes, Brianna, that was Taurus that we just talked about there. Okay, so now we're moving on to Gemini. Gemini, this solar eclipse is going to take place in your 11th house. So, yeah, this could look like these notable new opportunities to do with your clubs, your groups, your friendships, planting new seeds for the future when it comes to your friendships. This could look like you being a leader of sorts within a friendship group, within a club, or this could look like you taking on a new challenge, taking a risk when it comes to an organization that you're a part of, when it comes to a team that you're a part of. Maybe teamwork is a big theme here for you, but specifically being a leader within a team, kind of directing some sort of team. Or this could look like you being brave, needing to be brave about your hopes and your visions. Maybe it is that you have a certain vision for the future, but you need other people to kind of assist you with that vision. You need people to believe in your vision, to believe in your message. So, yeah, basically, what I'm saying here is that there may be these real significant and powerful changes coming up for you tied to these things. But then if we also consider the fifth house energy, okay, the fifth house tied to children, your hobbies, your creativity, maybe it's that children matters are also tied to the group related matters, or it's that your hobbies are sort of a part of it, where it's like, okay, well, I have to show up for this group of people, but this then means that certain parts of my free time or the hobbies that I enjoy doing in my spare time, these things need to kind of take the back burner for a little bit, or it's that I need to kind of manage how I go back and forth, or I need to figure out how I can make things work in a way where I'm still able to express, I'm still able to play, I'm still able to have fun, and so on. Okay, Cancer. So this solar eclipse is going to take place in your 10th house. So this could look like you, Cancer, taking on a whole new role, a whole new position, which may actually be really rewarding and really beneficial. This could look like you gaining a lot of recognition for the role that you play, or for the role that you have within your career. This could look like you gaining a lot of feedback from managers, from bosses, or this could look like you experiencing these powerful beginnings tied to your reputation. So it's like your reputation may change and people take notice, or you take on more responsibilities at work, or it's that there is a significant new achievement that you gain, okay, that can help you when it comes to your profession. So this new achievement, of course, could then, I suppose, happen within the next 6 months, or just thinking about eclipse, the new eclipse cycle with Aries and Libra over the next couple years or so. But then it's also good to keep in mind then the fourth house. So with the fourth house also coming into the equation, this could look like, Cancer, you readjusting how you show up within your family, how you show up within your home, because of a certain achievement, because of a certain this could also look, okay, there are these powerful and profound reputation changes happening, but then that means that my security could change. That maybe means that I could get a bigger house, or that maybe means that I need to relocate to a smaller house. Of course, it depends on your actual situation. But what I'm kind of saying here is, what happens within your professional life, what happens within your career life can have an impact upon your family life, your home life. Okay. All right. So, Leo, this solar eclipse is going to take place in your ninth house. So, thinking about how, with you experiencing these notable new opportunities when it comes to teaching, higher learning, broadcasting, sharing. It could be that you decide, I'm going to be a leader here. I am going to decide to take a leap of faith. I'm going to be daring here. I'm going to do the daring thing, and I'm going to be brave here. And you may find that, you grow in your confidence, that things expand, or it's that you have this whole new belief system about yourself where it's like, you know what? I'm doing really well here. Like I feel good about this journey. I feel good about this new direction. Yeah, there seems to be this changing of your beliefs, but in a really powerful, really strong way. And in a way where it's like, okay, I am paying attention here. And further exploration is also possible. This could even look like you deciding to take a trip abroad somewhere that's very different, and it opens you up to new opportunities. It even just adds this fuel in your stomach, like this fire rather in your stomach of like, yes, like I've got this. I was able to take a trip away for a while, and from being in this country, being in this other part of the world, I've learned so much about myself, and I want to share this information with other people, or I want to integrate what I've learned into my life. I want to make it a part of my life, and I want to also walk the walk here. Um, and it could also be here that there's something quite significant tied to publishing, okay? Tied to, like I was kind of mentioning there, broadcasting. So, yeah, teaching perhaps in a whole new way. And there are these significant, powerful new beginnings tied to teaching and publishing and so on. But then let's consider how the third house is a part of this, okay? So, the third house, thinking about communication, writing, education. So, this could then look like because you have gained more knowledge and more wisdom, because you have explored, because you have expanded, you can take that information and you can apply it just to your everyday life, your everyday communication, how you communicate with other people, in a very general sense. So those bigger picture themes can have an impact even on your everyday life. And those higher learning themes can have an impact on just how you educate yourself in a very just standard basic way. Okay, Virgo. Virgo, this solar eclipse is going to take place in your 8th house. Okay, so this could look like you experiencing a new phase that is worth paying attention to when it comes to intimacy, when it comes to your sexuality. So, in this way, it could like you more so stepping into a place of, I am going to be brave here about intimacy. I am going to be assertive about any changes that I wish to make. I'm going to be more direct about what I want when it comes to my intimate relationships. But then this also looks like significant new beginnings tied to your psychology. I was sort of talking earlier about how I've been in group psychotherapy for the past few years. Of course, I have a Virgo rising. This is why I'm bringing it up. But that has been a very eye-opening experience for me. By no means am I this well-informed person about my psychology. I'm always learning new things every day. And it can be hard. It can be really hard. But I feel as though with this eclipse, this is going to represent a turning point, I suppose, a notable new chapter, I suppose, that is tied to your psychology. So looking at what is beneath the surface, really digging deep into yourself, into your psyche, and trying to really understand, what is it that motivates you? What is it that's suppressed? What have you suppressed? And being courageous, being brave in this way, and then going through these really significant transformations too. Though another quick thing to mention as well is, of course, the 8th house can be about debts and loans and everything. So, shared resources as well. And I did sort of share a brief example about Jupiter moving through the sign of Aries in my 8th house and how that's tied to the government funding to do with a higher educational course and everything. But yeah, this then could circle back to the debt and loans, and looking at how you may be presented with a new opportunity that is somehow tied to loans. Okay, so getting a loan or even paying off some debt, or there's some type of shared resource that can assist you. And then if we also think about how the second house is coming into the picture, so the second house is tied to your personal finances, it is connected to your earning potential, your skills, your talents. So, could it be that there is a certain loan or there is a certain shared resource that can help with a talent or skill that you have? Or this could look like a transformation that is strongly tied to your self esteem, it's tied to your self worth. Okay, that's another possibility here. Um, or this could look like intimacy. We're talking about intimacy and being direct when it comes to intimacy and your sexuality, how those things can be connected to your physical body. They can be connected to your self worth. All right. Libra. So the solar eclipse is going to happen in your seventh house. So looking at these powerful new beginnings associated with your relationships, significant new chapters to do with business partnerships. I mean, this could be a whole situation where you enter into business with someone, or this could be a situation where you sign a particular contract or an agreement that really assists you. It kind of helps you, but it doesn't just help you, it also helps you and your partner. Or this could look like some notable new opportunities that is connected with your customers. So thinking about your current customers, thinking about gaining new customers, new clients. Um, or if we also consider how, well, if we think about how the seventh house is about the part of us that is often far removed from our personality. So, with you having Aries in your seventh house, I mean, it could be suggested that oftentimes what is reflected back to you within other people is that, people are so angry or disruptive, or they're really challenging, or they're really foolish, or they're too childish. So you kind of being presented with these qualities in other people and kind of having to really reflect on yourself and kind of seeing what about my shadow? What about times when I can be reckless? What about times when I can be childish? Or how can I even challenge myself? It's just interesting to me, just even thinking about this further with Libra and the Aries energy, because whenever you really are pushed against a wall in terms of someone's trying to be assertive, or they're maybe acting in a way that isn't so polite in your eyes, you can also push back and kind of show that anger and present a part of yourself that says, I'm not taking this from you. Um, so basically, what I'm trying to say here, Libra, is it could be that during the solar eclipse and then with the time after and everything, um, you're going to see how things can change for you within relationships in terms of how you are assertive, in terms of how you even showcase anger. And you know what? Maybe it is about really stepping up and saying, no, this is what I want. This is what I want. And the thing about this too is with the first house being a part of this, well, the things that you want within the relationship are a direct reflection about your identity. They are a direct reflection about um, your aims, your goals, your direction, your ambitions, and so on. So I think that's interesting. I think it's going to be an interesting time for you, Libra. All right, Scorpio. So, Scorpio, this solar eclipse is going to take place in your sixth house. All right. Notable new beginnings tied to work. Maybe this could look like things really changing amongst your staff, amongst your employees, or things really changing amongst your coworkers. So the people that you work with, things really changing in significant ways. And then this could also be you showing up as a leader, you being on the front line, you being the person who is in control, you're in charge, you're calling the shots, you're the one who is taking on all of the duties and the responsibilities. It's like, right, okay, let's get down to business, let's get on with this, I'm going to take action, and yeah, keep going. So it could be that with the solar eclipse activating your sixth house, there are these powerful new beginnings about how energetic, or about how determined you are within work, how much you assert yourself within work. And perhaps too, if we think about your daily habits, your daily routines, it could be that there is a powerful new beginning about a routine or a habit of yours, and something does change. And that change is connected in with motivation, it's connected in with leadership, it's connected in with you being a pioneer of some kind. But then I also further want to say that I know I've put cleanliness on there, but I want to kind of more focus on the health side of things, okay, with the sixth house. Because Scorpio, it could be that what calls your attention during these the eclipse, and after in Aries, what calls your attention is looking after your health. Okay, looking after your health, your physical body, how much are you eating, are you stressed out, what are your stress levels like, how much are you taking on, maybe it is that things will pile up for you. So it's important to then look at how much you are taking on, and bring attention to your health. But then the thing is that with the 12th house being a part of this too, goes back to relaxation. It goes back to um, recharging and making sure that you have enough time to fully unwind, to relax, to assess really like what it is that you're going through on your own. What is it that comes up for you whenever you've left work and it's just you at the end of the day and you're in bed, you're about to fall asleep. What are those little thoughts that come up? What are those fears? How do you feel really? Tuning in to these moments. Because I can't help but think that the big changes that come up for you that are tied to your work, they're going to have some type of impact upon your rest and relaxation. Okay, so Sagittarius, the solar eclipse in Aries is going to take place in your fifth house. So you could say that this is kind of a fun time, all right? The fifth house is a pretty fun house. This could look like more adventure. This could look like greater creativity, new significant chapters when it comes to your creativity, when it comes to enjoyment, pleasure, the things that you're interested in, powerful new beginnings about your interests, powerful new beginnings tied to free time. It's like, I'm Sagittarius and I just want a bit of free time. I want to do the things that I'm interested in. I want to do the things that I enjoy. Or, this could be a new phase worth paying attention to when it comes to your children, if you have any children. Or when it comes to your hobbies, right? Thinking about, all right, I want to start a new hobby, or I want to add to the hobby that I'm already doing or that I'm interested in. And so there are these powerful new chapters that you step into. And perhaps there is a great deal of adventure involved. There's even risk. There's something risky involved. There's something daring involved here. Being a leader, all right? Coming back to leadership to do with Aries. And with the 11th house being a part of this as well, maybe it's that, you could perhaps get some sort of feedback or advice from your friends about your hobby or about an interest of yours. Or this could look like how your friendships and your teams have some sort of impact upon your free time. Maybe it's trying to kind of think about how you can balance things there, or well, that's kind of interesting because there will be the Libra energy in the 11th there too, so there is an element of balance involved. And even with the eclipses and nodes and everything, there's that balance with the axis. Still thinking here about how you can balance the more social side of your life with the more, okay, well, I just want to do this for me, this is something that I just enjoy. And I also kind of think here too that perhaps you will plant seeds for the future in terms of enjoyment. Okay, so thinking about enjoyment here, yeah, really asking yourself, what do I enjoy? What brings me pleasure? But then again, like I said, the 11th house opposite, there's some sort of connection in with friends, groups, teams, even thinking about your hopes and your wishes for the future involved. Okay, Capricorn. So, Capricorn, this solar eclipse is going to happen in your fourth house. All right. Um, what's kind of springing to my mind actually with this is how I was talking earlier about how the solar eclipses can point toward a time period of rest, okay, a bit of rest. And so maybe this is sort of suggesting a bit of rest on your part. More so looking at your private life, more so looking at your emotional security. It could be, what, Capricorn, that you experience these really powerful, significant new beginnings that are about your security, your emotional security. Um, or it's that there is a family related matter that comes to light, and then it's like, right, okay, I really do need to focus on how I'm feeling right now, or I need to give my emotional attention, my emotional energy, my support, and my empathy and everything toward these people or this person. Yeah, it could be that there is a family matter that is worth paying attention to. But then also this could look like a home situation coming up. Okay, this could look like a new property or moving house. This could look like you renovating, but really, the changes are so um they're so obvious, okay? They're notable. And even thinking about notable new opportunities to do with residency, to do with where you live, all right? To do with family, and to do with your safety, privacy as well. Maybe this is a time period where it's like, no, I know exactly what I want to keep private, and that's final. But then with the same token, we got to look at the 10th house. So the 10th house is also coming into the equation here, in that the significant new chapters you go through in terms of your family and home will have this direct impact upon your public life, your professional life. I mean, this could be a whole situation here, Capricorn, where this is going to be a time period where you're going to take a little bit of time, maybe away from work, or you need to think about what you need within your family, within your home, before you can assess what's going on within your profession. Okay, there's just a family related matter that's calling your attention that can have a direct impact on what you do professionally. This is what I'm sort of getting. Aquarius. So the solar eclipse is going to happen in your third house. Okay, so significant new chapters to do with communication, to do with education, writing, researching, even thinking about your mindset. So yeah, it could be that this is about you establishing a greater leadership mindset, or this is about you opening up more about what you actually think, about what your opinions are. Um, maybe this is also about you being somewhat brave and daring about communication. Or this could even look like you motivating other people with your words, but seeing these significant changes, okay? Even just encouraging yourself, okay? Because the third house is tied to the mind. So having more of these encouraging motivational thoughts and being your own cheerleader, like, yeah, pushing yourself forward and having this pioneer mindset, this pioneer attitude, right? So, yeah, we may see here for you here, Aquarius, that there are these powerful beginnings that you experience that are connected in with your mindset and even education. This could even be a situation where you decide to learn something completely new. Um, or this could even be a situation where there are significant new chapters tied to your classmates, your peers, tied to your siblings, if you have any siblings. I know for myself, as an Aquarius, I have 5 siblings. They're all older than me. So I'm interested to know, will there be significant new chapters here coming up within my own kind of family circle there when it comes to my siblings? And then also I want to say that with the third house is the ninth house. So this could be a whole situation where a change in mindset can impact how you deliver or broadcast, should I say, broadcast information online. There can be then this impact that your leadership views, your leadership opinions, your leadership mindset, there can be these strong impacts that these things have upon what you publish, what you share, even thinking about how you travel, how you expand, how you grow, looking at greater exploration. But it all starts with the mind. It all starts with a thought. Okay, so lastly, Pisces. So the solar eclipse is going to happen in your second house. So yeah, Pisces, this could look like you going through these really powerful new opportunities to do with your resources, to do with your earning potential. Maybe there is a big new goal that you have in mind and you want to be a leader, you want to take on that challenge. And so you go for it. And then it's also looking at these significant new chapters tied to your skills, your talents. So maybe there is a new skill or talent that you want to take on, and then you are brave about it, or it's that you want to add to your skills or reskill, where you improve a bit. But it's about being brave. It's about taking a leap of faith. It's also about looking at, your independence. So doing something for you. This is a talent that I really enjoy, that I really like, so I'm going to go for it. But yeah, notable new opportunities present here when it comes to your skills, your talents, your earning potential, even looking at your physical security, your resources, investing may be a part of this. Yeah, looking at your finances more closely and experiencing these new significant chapters when it comes to your finances. But then, with that in mind, of course, the eighth house is coming into the equation with the second house. So, this could look like a personal belonging situation. Okay. So, a personal financial situation that has some sort of direct impact upon shared resources. It has a direct impact upon any debt you have or a loan that you're paying off, or even looking at, okay, well, I want to get a loan, so I need to get my credit up, or I need to improve my finances, I need to make good money, or I need to make sure that I'm keeping myself on the straight and narrow here. So yeah, there's something here about how your earning potential, how your money situation can then kind of have this impact upon debt, loans, even let's think about how possible new chapters tied to your self-worth, your self-esteem, may be tied to intimacy. So feeling greater intimacy, a greater emotional bond with another person because you accept yourself more, because you feel more at ease within yourself. All right, so that's all the horoscopes. I will try my best and get the timestamps done as soon as possible, but if I take a little while, thank you for your patience. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Brianna. That is really kind of you. Thank you so much for for the tip. Very kind of you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I hope here, folks, that you enjoyed this presentation today. I've been here for an hour and 45 minutes, which, to be honest, I didn't think I would be here for that long, but hey, here we are. I just went for it, and I feel like at times, it can be beneficial just to jump in, I suppose it is the solar eclipse in Aries, and Aries is just like, okay, I'm going to go for it. But anyway, thank you so much for listening. Enjoy your weekend as well, Brianna. Have a lovely weekend. And it is Easter weekend, so for any of you who do celebrate Easter, happy Easter to you. I plan on eating a good bit of chocolate. I'm also going to be making a cheesecake. It's a chocolate caramel cheesecake. So that shouldn't be too long, within the next hour or so. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. If you're interested in any more content like this, I do live streams over on the Cosmic Warriors Club. There are horoscopes there as well, so I do these written horoscopes for the month. I also do written horoscopes for the week on the Cosmic Warriors Club. And then I also do these live streams for each season. So we greet the beginning of each season, looking at Aries we've done so far, and then we'll move on to Taurus very soon. But there are a few live streams available for you at the moment. The cheesecake, yeah, well, the cheesecake is chocolate caramel. And no, it's not vegan. I was vegan for like 4 years, but no, I'm not vegan anymore. And also I wanna say, let me just scroll up here. I need to scroll up. I can't get it. Oh, here we go. Thank you so much, Cherie. Is it Cherie? Is that how you pronounce your name? I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing it correctly. Thank you so much for the tip. That is so kind of you. I really appreciate it. But for any of you who are interested in my services, so I do natal chart readings for clients. There's also the astrology guide there. There's practical astrology ebooks available. So if you're interested in any of these things, you can go to hannahselsewhere.com. And just overall, if you did enjoy the chat today about the solar eclipse in Aries, you can buy me a coffee by going to the link in the description box. If you enjoyed it, if you did enjoy the live stream, that is. But with all of that being said, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Honestly, thank you. I've really enjoyed this live stream today, and I've enjoyed having you here. And I hope you have a lovely weekend as well. Have a lovely weekend. I am going to go and try and decompress for an hour, and then it's cheesecake making time. So that should be fun. Thank you so much. And happy solar eclipse in Aries. I hope that it serves you well. And I'm sure I will be back very soon. Okay, everyone? Bye.